Okay, everybody is going to prison in units 33 through 64. The Ontario Police is gang stalking by helicopter while the fake sun is in the same position it was this morning, while the demons were pacing on the same sidewalk with the U-Haul. The people of the state are going to prison while the entity is gang stalking and using the resources of the corrupt municipality, the city of Ontario. This is the removal of Paul Leon from office, okay? The entity is amplifying the sound of helicopter. The sound of helicopter occurs as I walk outside of the apartment while the entity is keeping me under surveillance inside of the apartment. And they're doing that with the people who are maintaining presence in the path where this engineer light's covering everything. It's appearing underneath covered structures because the significance of the surveillance system is that under the demonic illusion, this is demonic and that was a demon. That's also a demon that represents the government. That's the city of Ontario over a senior citizen complex 3 days in a row now, flying in circles as I walk outside of the apartment, monitoring me and then threatening my life because I'm documenting them monitoring me. They're also monitoring my genitalia in the bathroom inside of this apartment, which is a private space where the government has no warrant or probable cause to be stalking me. And they're also engaged in what is monitoring. They're doing so while the fake sun's in the same position. They're going to prison. License plate 8 VOP 671, engineer light, they're going to prison. That's a female and operates with a communication device. That's P.O.C. and the Ontario Police relies on that. All right, this is the entity that's gang stalking as a residential neighborhood. Remember, the entity is gang stalking in Los Angeles on April 2nd, 2024, where the very population is gang stalking. All races, all ages, psychopaths, that's a demon. And the fake sun, it's over the lot. This is what you saw reflecting on the vehicle here in the morning while I'm documenting the people of the state at 11. It's still here after 2 p.m. reflecting off of the vehicle, shooting like a laser inside of the apartment. It's still here reflecting off of the vehicle in this same parking lot after 5 p.m. This is the population acting together. They're pacing. The Ontario Police are pacing. They're pacing in traffic as well. And this is the entity that is mentally ill, psychopaths. Okay, Linda Reyes is going to prison. She's going to prison. AVANATH Capital Management, I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute them. And this is, again, the Ontario Police that are being disbanded. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Ontario Fire Department, they're going to be removed from existence and Paul Leon is out of office. She is going to prison. So is everybody in these two buildings right here. They're engaged in what is ongoing obsessive surveillance on behalf of the government that literally tells on its co-defendants, the people of the state, while they fly around in circles over the apartment building. In an environment that you're looking at the evidence of surveillance of a satanic nature, the fake sun is the stage whereby you're associating this light with the sun, and it's not the sun. That's why it's rising and setting here. And that's why I also have on this same day where the LAPD is gang stalking. Southwest Airlines, there's no Terminal 2 where you see them crossing path. The entity is doing so. These are the acts of desperation where the federal government is exposed for gang stalking in California. That's amplified audible activity. And this is, again, I want you to be clear, she's being so bold, she's going to prison. This old lady's going to prison. Hi. She's going to prison. Hi, are you looking for someone?
My sister's coming out right
Okay,
now.
I just want to get her face because she's going to prison. All right, that's again 8 VOP 671. She's a documented gang stalker. She's engaged. And her co-defendant inside of this apartment, they're all going to prison. Okay, so they're doing so under the fake sun, and this is psychopathic behavior. This is what Amazon Prime is doing at this same exact location, the same parking lot after 5 p.m. Okay, all they do is pace into the parking lot, engineer light. They walk around under the fake sun. They're monitoring my genitalia all day long inside of the apartment. This is the criminal conduct that, again, Jason Isaac Fields, this is a demon-possessed psychopath who's gang stalking with the entity in relevant position while they're engaging in witchcraft, pacing under the fake sun where there is no airport, where you're taking off or hovering at a low elevation like Southwest Airlines is, and when you're flying over a senior citizen complex under an idle fake sun in helicopter, and that police department knows that it's being disbanded. That's speaking to the mental illness of the demon-possessed who are engaged in the egregious, inhumane, and unconstitutional system of federal group stalking and monitoring with the people of the state. Okay? That is, again, he's already going to prison. He's been documented. Engaged in criminal summoning on October 9th, 2024 with Corey Watson, who's going to federal prison. You'll see them under the fake sun that's over Vine Avenue where he's entering in right now. And the fake sun is over that house at 10:19 a.m. The fake sun is over the same location at what is 2:26 p.m. And after 4 p.m., I've documented before, in 2024, during the same time, the fake sun is still here after 4. And as he drives through the parking lot, engineer light, yeah, that is 6YOZ. 533. He's going to prison as well. The entity is gang stalking with the population that's gang stalking in the same way, okay? So the pattern of conduct that is shown, I want you to be clear, this is where the entity is going to keep the fake sign. This is where it's at 5 o'clock in the evening when I am here, and it's going to be in the same position. That's how I'm capturing it, reflecting off of this vehicle after 5 p.m. These are demons that are pacing, they're monitoring and stalking in the path. This is obsessive surrounding conduct, and you're identifying, and they're going to prison, okay? They're going to prison because they're gang stalking with the Ontario police. These old people are going to federal prison. So I want you to see this while the fake sun, this is where it's at 5 p.m. You can see it reflecting off of her windshield. It's reflecting off of that window after 5 p.m. She's going to prison. Ontario police is gang stalking with her. Black face minion, license NS580. She's going to prison, handicapped black license plate, and this is where the fake sun is at after 5 p.m. All right, the entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct and doing so in concert with the people of the state. And it is not 5 p.m., it's 2:27 p.m. where the entity is keeping the fake sun over me in Los Angeles. And let me show you the same reflection of the fake sun on the same vehicle at 2:27 p.m. where the entity is keeping that fake sun and gang stalking with minor children who are engaged in federal stalking in California. All right, that's the ongoing contribution to public corruption while you saw the demons circling in helicopter, they're gang stalking with minor children, which is why the mental health patients in Unit 41 are losing their children, because this is what the population is doing. I documented that gang stalking family, gang stalking with their children in real time, like they are by living inside of the apartment, by the way, and they're losing custody of their kids. The entity is gang stalking. LAPD and Ontario PD's engagement in that hallmark of identifying domestic terrorism and psychological torture by gang stalking as demons under that fake sun, and then exhibiting what is severe mental illness, why they just created another method of identifying and prosecuting them and everyone else under the very obvious means of that pattern of conduct. The demon possessed that are engaging in that and their mental illness is put on full display. This is the entity that is going to be subject to a federal prosecution, including AVANATH Capital Management. As you see them flying around in a circle also, that's not going to vibrate the apartment. The ground's not shaking while they're flying above at that low elevation. It's not so amplified that it's heard pervading through the apartments. That's the entity that's targeting me with sensational activity and amplified audible activity, as they're also pacing while that fake sun comes right back to the same apartment where it is in the morning. It's 2:28 p.m. That's P.O.C. That's AVANATH Capital Management's employees, including Linda Reyes. The mental illness of the entity is at issue as they engaged in this psychotic iteration with the intent to obstruct justice. They are doing so while they are aware of the fact that their criminal system is being exposed, and they're simultaneously seeking to suppress that evidence while gang stalking, okay? The entity is doing so with what is impunity and malice. That's what's relevant. Mike Lorenz is permanently, and everybody else that is a part of the Ontario Police, they are done with law enforcement as an entity engaged in domestic terrorism. Police departments in the United States engaged in domestic terrorism are done with law enforcement as they are documented and to be prosecuted. Okay? The entity that's gang stalking, I believe she's in Unit 49 or 50. She's going to prison already. She's engaged in that same POC with the same police department that were flying in circles, not coincidentally or ignorantly. They do so intentionally as a psychopath is operating that aircraft. And this is an entity that's using millions of dollars to keep me under surveillance, very much engaged in what's going on with my genitalia. You need to understand the sex offenders that they are, the psychopaths that they are, and those who are actually mentally ill. And it includes Tracy Banks, whose apartment it is, where I'm subject to the pattern of conduct, which is obviously identified under a fake sun. And as I come out and get video, the psychopaths go berserk, which is only evidence that harms them. Okay, that's the very foolish engagement of what is on camera, engaging in the pattern of conduct, exhibiting demon possession, including while you are appearing disinterested, gang stalking in plain view in the vehicles, pacing under the fake sun, doing so with regard to my identifying them. Every license plate that I documented, 2 of them are already documented for federal prison, but the elderly black female with the handicapped license plate, she's going to prison as well. All right, these mental health patients are gang stalking right now via the voice of their children under the fake sun and amongst engineer light. And they're doing so intentionally, knowingly to monitor me. They do not actually care about their kids. This is the national security threat with regard to those that are monitoring with children throughout the state. They are inherent to that pattern of conduct. All right. It is currently, again, 2:30 p.m. You saw the psychopath in Unit 41 monitoring, obsessively engaged in that pattern of conduct, walking right into this apartment, and that was in the morning. All right, the entity is maintaining this pattern of conduct on an ongoing obsessive basis. That was 10:53. 10:57 is when I started that. This is the same exact position. and you saw the fake sun reflecting off of the same vehicle that it was at 5:03 p.m., where there is no distinction between Amazon Prime and the demon gang stalking right now in the parking lot, and the demons that pace around over this same exact location, while a fake sun remains for the duration of the day. It's the same pattern of conduct in Los Angeles. This is P.O.C. It's currently 2:31 p.m. And you're looking at what is the pattern of conduct, as no sunlight is going to be the cause for what is the engineered light that is still framing the same front door inside of the apartment. My shadows appearing on the ceiling. This is speaking to ongoing obsessive surveillance that defies nature underneath the covered patio structure. And then you have light that's just appearing on the inside of the apartment. It's also impossible light activity, as you are aware of the entity that's keeping the fake sun all day long, as I documented it throughout the day on this day in 2024 in Los Angeles, California. That's explaining the criminal interference with quiet enjoyment by gang stalking neighbors who are remaining in the path while the demons fly in circles over the apartment building, engaging in surveillance, and also what's legally analyzed with regard to what is terrorizing, harassment by the federal government, ongoing criminal acts of obstruction of justice, and the egregiously violent sex offense of monitoring in a private space. They're all stalking also in violation of the Violence Against Women Act and the ongoing provision of that evidence against itself by flying in a circle by a demon-infected agency, the Ontario Police, who was gang stalking and kidnapping with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. This is the entity that is subject to an inevitable and unprecedented prosecution before the world. It is, again, 2:32 p.m. This is P.O.C.